I don't know about you, but for me, when I'm making YouTube videos, I need a place, a little nook, a corner, someplace where I can make my videos. Now, a lot of you maybe don't have the space. Maybe you're in a bedroom or, you know, your mom's basement. I just don't know. The point is, you don't need a lot of room. So today, we're going to make a micro video workspace.
Brian Kelsey is here. Hey, Brian.
Hey, whoever.
Please welcome Brian Kelsey.
Brian, good to see you.
Good to see you.
Are you ready?
Hey, I'm Brian Kelsey, and welcome to the channel. If you're new here, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming along. I've been in the TV and radio business for like a million forever, both behind the camera and in front of the camera. And the goal of the channel is to really help you upgrade your YouTube production value with tips and tricks and gear reviews and inspiration and tutorials, blah, blah, blah. So the first thing we need to do in creating our little creator area is to find the space where we want to do it. It could be a corner of a room, it could be the back of a room, it could be the middle of the room. We're going to use a little section of my studio here, and you may ask yourself, Brian, why are you making a little space when you've got this whole other huge studio? And the reason is, I don't know, I want to, this is the interview set back here. It's a whole different thing. I want to kind of keep it separate. So I want to make a little area over here to my left that will be strictly for gear reviews, tutorials, and all that kind of stuff. Now, the way we're going to make our footprint really small is to get rid of tripods and any sort of light stands and mostly mount everything on the wall and ceiling. So just make sure wherever you are that you're going to be able to do that. And there are some best practices about hanging stuff in a wall, which I'll go through. So the first thing up is to make a desk. Now, you could buy a desk, but why when you can make one? And I personally want to make it exactly to my specifications. So I want something, you know, about probably 2 by 4 feet, and that is on wheels, and I can kind of move it around, and that's a nice wood finish. And I think I have just the stuff to make it. Somewhere in here. This is 100-year-old antique wormy chestnut wood, rare and expensive. Or you could just use a $10 piece of plywood. One-inch plumbing pipe, tad on the expensive side, but goes together super quick and it's super strong. And it looks pretty badass. I spent $100 on the pipe and 20 minutes trying to get this 4-second shot to look just right. So here it is. I made mine pretty tall because I like to stand when I do my videos, but of course if you like to sit, you can make yours shorter. Now we can position the desk how we want it. You can see I have mine kind of an angle here next to the yard tools and bug spray. And you want to make sure that whatever's in the background is not like terrible. Like we'll deal with it mostly later, but just get a general, you know, nice background. Don't have, you know, laundry or, you know, dishes and stuff like that. So you've got your background. I'm going to be like kind of like this. Now we need to work backwards. We need to figure out where we want the camera. Then we can figure out how to get it there. So for me, I'm kind of right here. I probably need my camera right up around like here somewhere. So how do we get that there without using a tripod? And that is with wall mounts. Now, I actually technically don't have a wall here, it's a window, so what we're gonna have to do is put like a little shelf over here and then have it kind of like, I can cut a hole here and have it stick out and paint it black. And we're gonna use these things. I'll put a link in the description, but basically it's just a, you know, it's just kind of like a wall mount. I think this is actually technically for lights, but then I used a magic arm here. Here, we'll have another one coming down from the ceiling, because that'll have the overhead camera. We'll do that tomorrow because I'm exhausted and there's no food in the house and I'm starving. So I gotta go to the supermarket. I mean, literally, there's nothing. Before we go any further, let's talk about mounting heavy and expensive equipment in your walls and ceiling. This is a wall. Now, behind this wall are studs, 2x4s, every 16 inches on center. You need to make sure that you drill into one of these. And in the ceiling, they're called joists, and it's the same principle. How do you find the studs? Stud finder. Put it up against the wall, press the button, slowly slide until there's one side of the stud. Go to the other side and bring it over the other way until you get, and there it is. There's your stud. And here is the final product. I didn't use the magic arm for this main sort of artery here. It was kind of it wasn't stable. So I have everything kind of coming off this one tree right here. Now everything's plugged into one power strip. So I can just come in here, turn on the power strip, and everything comes on. The microphone is just, I need to get a nice microphone. This is just like a cheap $100 one that I had lying around the house. But it does go up and it goes into a preamp over there that gives it its phantom power, and I have that right now going into the Atomos Ninja. I will get a Sound Devices Mix Pre 3. That's what I want to use to record audio. There's actually a link in the description if you want to get that. It's perfect for something like this and for podcasts as well. The setup for cameras, what I have here is my Panasonic S1H. And it's on a quick release, so I can just pop it off and on as I need it. Then of course the Ninja up top there. And then up here, we have my old Canon 80D, and I don't use it that much, so I thought it'd be a great overhead camera. You have a nice monitor down there. This is just a Feel World monitor. This is just, again, something I had. I put some links to some of these monitors, the newer versions. They're cheap. They're like under $100. You know, one thing I should note about the top, it's a matte finish. It's not shiny, and there's a specific reason for that, because I don't want a lot of glare shooting around when this camera's pointing down. Now, one thing you could also do is have a white top, a matte finish though, not a shiny finish, again, because that will give you some bounce. It also kind of look pretty clean in the overhead camera. Now for the lights are so inexpensive these days. This is one I already had, but it runs around $40. I put some links below of a bunch of different types of lights that are all under $50. And then of course I also have a hair light up here. It just gives me a little hair here. I still have to dial it in. Now you can see I kind of cleaned up the background there. It still needs some work, but it's a little dark. But the main point is that you kind of want it very clean and minimal things in the background, not a lot of distractions. That's why I kind of tried to wash it with some lights. And your exposure will really make a difference as well. Like right now in the room, it's really bright. But when you look in here, when I have my exposure set and everything, it's much darker and kind of more moody. And that's about it. It's the Micro Video Creators Workspace. This area is just about, maybe it's 5 feet by 5 feet. It's very, very small. You can tuck it into any part of your room, your house, wherever. And I hope you learned something from this. And thank you for watching.
This has been a Brian Kelsey movie.